I'm a little bit surprised. If you remember, it was only a couple of years ago, even. I say a couple of years ago, like 2018, 2019. Korea used to be the land of the Protoss. Like, Korea used to be all
Yeah.
about Protoss.
Oh, definitely. When you
Yeah.
had Zest, Trap, Classic, even Creator,
Yeah. Zaun.
making some very big mates. Zaun, I miss Zaun.
Deer was still active back then. Nightmare.
Deer was, Deer was, I think 2019. By 2019, Deer. No, Deer was still active in 2019. Now that I think about it. We had Patience. We had Parting.
Yeah, Patience, Parting. Like, Korea used to be the land of the Protoss.
That's off the top of my head. 9 very active Protoss players who would make decent runs. Like, make it to playoffs, make it to round of 16s and whatnot.
Yeah, and that's also why,
consistently.
That's also why, like, in 2020 as well, in the beginning of
Steven. That's 10. Can't believe I forgot about stats.
Yeah, that's why ESL Open Cup Asia for a full year, even a year and a half, was just pure PvPs. Like, we know that full well. But over the years, that has changed. A lot of the Protoss players have stepped away. A lot of them have retired. And now I do think that it's all about the Terrans. Like, you can see that in this quarterfinals here with Byeon, with Gumiho, with Kyo, with Maru as well. Like, there are just so many big Terran players there in Korea now.
Throwing, like, Bunny and Quanta. Okay, maybe not Quanta just yet. I just like Quanta. Ryung, yeah, a lot of them coming down. But regardless, we are casting none of them. We are currently casting a PVT or TvP, depending on your perspective, over here on Ancient Cistern. Over in the bottom left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the bottom left-hand corner, we have our blue Protoss player coming out from the land of Germania. He is going to be representing Berlin International Gaming, BIG. He is big. ShoWTimE.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Team Abydos. It is Cure.
Yeah, it's been a while since we were able to cast Cure, hasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I was bringing this up the other day because we were lucky enough to cast Cure in ESL Open Cup Asia, a couple of, and Americas this week. Specifically this week, Cure has been more active, and I was curious. I asked Maddox. Maddox had a little bit of a chat with Cure, and Cure has recovered quite well. He's still not at 100%. He still has his sling on, unfortunately. But he is, now well enough to play a little bit more actively, and he wants to because, of course, he's playing in GSL. He wants to be in top shape for it.
Yeah. Did he play in the qualifiers while he still had his arm in a sling?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, I guess he didn't have to because he was a finalist last season, wasn't he?
Yeah, he got seeded.
Yeah. He didn't have to. Yeah, he got seeded. Yeah. Still, I mean, I'm sick to see.
I'm still just I'm still, whenever I think of Cure, I still think of him.
Though?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't pry when it comes to like what happened to his arm and what kind of injury it was.
Maybe it doesn't sound, because when you put it in a sling, that doesn't sound like a typical pro gamer wrist injury.
Yeah, that sounds like a for Jumi, you're on a bike and you end up in an accident.
Yeah,
kind of injury. So. It is a shame that happened, and that's why we haven't seen Cure too much. But because of that, he also it was the other day when we were casting. When I was casting, I think it was ESL Open Cup Americas, where someone in the chat said they gave Cure the nickname the one-handed bandit. And it was and the idea, like thinking of him beating Clem at ESL Masters Summer with one hand is just crazy. It's wild.
Yeah.
I love it. As we are getting into this game, and so far we do have a Twilight Council opener here from ShoWTimE. He's going to be diving into that Blink. The Reaper does manage to slip on by, and Kira gets a full scout of the tech, is fully aware of what opener ShoWTimE is up to.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen ShoWTimE's more unique PvZ style in his previous series against Wayne, but I do feel like his PvT is fairly standard as far as PvT goes.
Yeah,
I don't think there are that many Protoss players who diverge that much from the meta, at least in this matchup nowadays.
Yeah, I was about to say like Hero, but Hero more often like shapes the meta sort of thing. Like even when he does his own thing, everyone just copies him anyway. So
Yeah.
so yeah, I would tend to agree. I would tend to agree, as we do have a bit of a 2-1-1 setup. Sorry, a 3-1-1 setup here from Cure.
Yeah, very interesting. We have seen 2-on-1 make a pretty big resurgence recently, starting at the start of the year, and now it's still something that Terran players are throwing out in TvP. But a 3-1-1. I was waiting for that star port before I finished that final one. But yeah, 3-1-1 is still a lot more aggressive than is normal or necessary.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, this does delay the starport quite heavily, so we're not going to be too active. We're not, opening up with a mine drop or anything like that, or any kind of liberator or fast raven. Instead, we are focusing on a bio production instead to hit a strong timing with stim. But this is all going to get scattered. ShoWTimE, he dives into the main base, sees how late that starport is, sees the 3 Raxes, sees everything.
Yeah, and now he should know that all he has to do is do what he does best and defend against what's being thrown his way. Just because he's going to be defending, though, doesn't mean he's going to be on his side of the map the entire time. He's already moving across the map with a couple of stalkers, and he's already getting a Dark Shrine.
Yeah, Dark Shrine is on the way for ShoWTimE, and the Reaper does get sniped, so there's not going to be a scout into the main base so far. Cure is in the dark, and DTs are a great way to take advantage of this because we have very limited scans available. DTs to harass, or even DTs to defend and just force out scans and force Cure to invest in supporting his army. Yeah, it's all going to come into play because of that late Raven, or non-existent Raven.
Yeah, on a more standard or a more balanced opening, if you want to call it that, for the Terran player, you normally have that Raven you were talking about. Either a Raven or a third orbital command by now. Cure has neither. He's opting full in 100% aggression.
Exactly, and ShoWTimE is taking a bit of a chance here. His opponent's staying on 2 bases, and ShoWTimE goes for a 4th. So very, very greedy here out of ShoWTimE. We'll see if he can get away with it, as Cure is in the midst of pushing out. ShoWTimE does slow him down. He does force one of those sieges, and it looks like he wants to maybe try to catch some of these reinforcements.
Yeah, not quite gonna get him, unfortunately, but okay. He does pick off a couple of Marauders over here. Gonna be able to delay the 3rd base as well here from Cure. Maybe even kill it. He gets the kill.
Yeah, that's a kill. Another cancel. Cure turns back around with his main army, but he's still going for a double drop across now. The Stalkers are looking for some more damage. DT gets mixed in as well.
And there, like you said, there's no detection aside from scans right now. Stalkers get recalled. And there is a DT back at home as well for defense.
There is a DT, but we stim on forward anyway. We're going to be able to get on top of this mineral line as well. The DT is late to react. We did not recall into the main base, so ShoWTimE was not ready for this.
Yeah, and just like so, Cure is actually going to be able to reciprocate the damage quite a bit. I mean, he does have to get a bit more damage, I feel, just because ShoWTimE was very greedy in getting that 4th base up and running, but this is not a bad start here for Cure.
Yeah, it's not a bad start, but again, his 3rd base was killed. It was delayed as well. As you mentioned, ShoWTimE, he's still far ahead in the economy. Even though he lost some workers, he's still in a really good economic position at least. And Cure has to make something happen here with his army. The longer this goes on, the better it will be for ShoWTimE.
Yeah, which is why I do appreciate that mine drops are being thrown into the mix here. He doesn't have an armory just yet, and yeah, considering the fact that ShoWTimE has delayed both his robo facility and his starport, I mean, he's not going to have any detection.
True. So there's a lot of potential in that mine drop. It needs to do a lot of damage. We can see ShoWTimE has eyes on the main force as well. On any kind of move out, he has DTs at every single attack path, and he does see the army.
Who needs observers? DTs are just observers that hit back. That hurt.
There you go, mate. There you go. As yeah, Cure is going to be focusing on his main push. Meanwhile, it looks like he actually brought the mine drop back, so it's with the army instead. So the mines have been incorporated, and here we go. Cure, he's just pushing towards that 3rd base. He needs to get some damage done.
Yeah, and honestly, not a bad timing here from Cure. Oh, that surround though is going to hurt quite a bit. There was a lot of friendly fire from those mines. Yeah, if not for that surround, I think Cure would have had a chance, but now it's pretty hopeless. say the least.
Yeah, the entire army gets swallowed up by the Protoss. ShoWTimE, with a dominant performance so far here in game number 1, completely shuts this down. Third base cannot get up and running. We have a wave of mines coming out, but there's still just so much on the ground here for ShoWTimE.
Yeah, even with Stim, even with +1, I mean, ShoWTimE's +1 just finished up himself, so yeah, these upgrades aren't going to be as useful anymore. Cure's time to win that game was that 1.5 minutes ago. Now, I mean, what's the path to victory? He can try to turtle, I guess, but ShoWTimE's just making it so difficult for him to even get a third base that, yeah, I don't see much of a way out here for Cure.
Yeah, like the only way he can is if he just goes for just mass drop play and is somehow able to snipe a base, get a couple of mineral lines, and pull apart the Protoss player. But alas, he's focusing on his main push instead. And even if he did try to go for this drop play, like, it's so difficult to do so with ShoWTimE having so much map presence.
See, this is where you and I differ. Like, you say he should go for drop play. I say he should pull the boys.
Of course you would. As we get a Zealot drop into the main base, the boys are being pulled just to protect them, just to save them. We do see Cure pushing across the map as well. Mine shots are going to be going off and all these Zealots, but there's still more behind that. There's still more where that came from.
Much more where that came from. ShoWTimE is so rich and has so much production that he can pretty much do anything he wants right now.
Yeah, if he wants to take up into Skytoss, he can. He doesn't have too much gas to work with, to be fair, so because of that, his army can't be as technical as he otherwise would have liked, but we don't really need a technical army. Like, the Zealots are doing more than enough right now. Mines, they're walling on in, but they're not quite going to be able to borrow.
Yeah. We don't need a technical army right now for ShoWTimE. We just need an army.
Exactly, especially because of how desperate Cure is right now as he tries to push on in. Behind this, he is getting his third base up and running, fully operational, thankfully, but it only just now got mining, and ShoWTimE's already moving out.
Yeah, this is not the best position to fight here for Cure, but he has to fight regardless. Doesn't have his mines here, and he is kiting back decently well.
Yeah, he is, but he exposes his own third CC. 2 mines get sniped as well. We do see the mines across the map waddle on in. They get a couple of probes for their troubles, and Cure is going to be able to chase this back.
Oh. Yeah, surprisingly. You know, this is with ShoWTimE having an upgrade advantage. But here comes all of the DTs and a little bit of a Zealot run by as well. The main base of Cure is an absolute shambles, and if this continues to go on, he's just going to get strangled out of this map.
Oh, he really is. Like, Cure, he was doing everything he could to hold on to his third base, but because ShoWTimE just has the numbers on his side, he pulls apart Cure, takes down 22 SCVs, and even if Cure holds onto this base, I mean, he's not going to, though. With the Stalkers, they overwhelm the army that was left behind.
The army that was left behind, but look at the army supply difference right now. That wasn't a very efficient trade there for ShoWTimE. If Cure pulls the boys, he might be able to pull this off.
Unironically, I mean, there's no Colossi, there's no Storm, there's no Archons. Like, pulling the boys against this kind of army could work. The problem is that Cure has a lot to do if he does go all in. Like, there's just so many bases.
Yeah.
ShoWTimE, he's taking it, he's just getting another expansion.
Yeah, he might as well. I think that I can think of a few TvPs where, you know, the Terran player was in a terrible position, but, you know, they were just able to turtle up hard and then go for a big counterattack. You know, Ryung versus Zest kind of comes to mind here, but like you said, that's really much, or no, you didn't say that. I thought you said that. But that is reliant a lot on the Zerg player, on the Protoss player being a little bit more aggressive, and ShoWTimE, he doesn't need to be. He is being as greedy as possible because he knows there's no pressure on him to push into Cure.
Yeah, exactly. As we are committing into a base trade, we do have one scan, but DTs are so crucial in a base trade because we have such limited scans available. The main base full of energy, though. We have plenty of scans to work with, and Cure is going into the main. Meanwhile, ShoWTimE likewise is busting into the main base of Cure, and he's going to overwhelm this army.
Yeah, just blinks on forward and is able to take out just about every single defense there. Dark Shrine did go down. The Forge is still alive. That +3 can make a huge difference, but it's not going to make a difference here as it does get denied.
And I'm worried because Cure may just lose by elimination.
he may, but there's no Stargate here for ShoWTimE. You know, how much range do Stalkers realistically have?
True. Can these buildings get into dead space? That is the question, as the Stalkers are looking to hunt them down one after the other. Cure takes down the main. He's going for now the third base. There's a fourth, a fifth, and a sixth behind this, so he's got a lot of work to do. And ShoWTimE actually turns back around. He's going back home.
Yeah, well, he knows he has the numbers advantage. He knows he has the resources. He is the player who actually has mining. So unless Cure finds a miracle position here to just concave on top of everything, there's no way he's going to win a fight.
Oh, exactly. As the Zealots get a full surround, they take 4 mine shots to the face, but it didn't even matter. There's still so much on the ground here for ShoWTimE. His army eclipses that of Cure. GG gets called, and ShoWTimE takes game number 1.
Just like so. I mean, shout out to Cure, I guess, for making it closer than I thought it really would have been by the time we got to that base trade, but even still.
Yeah, like that base trade was maybe his best chance at winning the game. So Cure, he was able to recognize like maybe the best way possible for him to maybe cause an upset, especially if ShoWTimE didn't react well to the base trade and maybe panicked a little bit too much. But GG, well played. ShoWTimE does take that first game, and yeah, it was a pretty damn good performance there out of ShoWTimE.
Yeah, very, very solid. Just yeah, it just didn't feel like it didn't look like he was making any major mistakes there, or any mistakes in general, really.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. As I think we may be, maybe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure first was West.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure we were on US West last game.
Never mind. I actually didn't check. I had no idea. But yeah, we're gonna be loading into game number 2. Game 2 is gonna be taking place on a Dragon Scales. Oh boy, can Cure fight back here? As you did mention, here in game 2, Cure will have a bit of a worse ping situation where he'll be at a ping disadvantage compared to game 1.
How many handicaps can we throw on him? You know, plays one-handed, plays with high ping. You know, has to wear an eye patch.
Get rid of his keyboard.
No sound. Yeah, get rid of keyboard. Plays without sound. You know.
Yeah. There you go.
We'll figure out a way to make it, and he has to wear a sock on one of his on his mouse hand.
We'll get someone to like knock on his door like every couple of minutes,
yeah,
to like distract him. Yeah.
Uber Eats guy just stares at him through the window. Anyway, we're here now on Dragon Scales for game number 2, where we're here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. We have our blue Protoss player coming out from the land of Germania. He is, of course, going to be representing Berlin International Gaming. BIG. He is big. He is ShoWTimE.
Power. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Dragon Scales, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Team Abydos. It is Cure.
Plays like a sandbag on his wrist. He has to play with a mouse that is with a different mouse.
Oh. He has to play
with
like
one of
2K
those
DPI.
mice that you have to... A 2K DPI that you have to actually hold sideways. What was it called? One of those ergonomic mice for
True.
For Photoshop and the like.
Yeah. Did you ever? I know this is maybe before your time. Did you ever see the mice that were actually like balls? It was like a reverse ball mic where the ball was on top.
Yeah.
You had to.
Oh, yeah. on top.
Yeah.
Only at like libraries and stuff.
Oh, okay.
It's like you scroll the ball around.
Yeah. The ball is like in your palm.
Yeah. Oh, in your palm. I always use my fingertips to kind of circle it around like that.
Okay.
Kind of caress it.
I
don't remember if there was like a button on the other side or if you actually had to click on the ball.
You could click on the ball, but there were buttons on either side.
Yeah, I remember those, and I remember I think when I was about like 9 or 10, because they still hadn't updated them, and I was like, can't they just use a trackpad or a normal mouse?
I mean, I will say that I'm pretty sure it was better than a trackpad.
Was it? Maybe. I think a trackpad might be more precise, but you don't really need precision.
back in the day,
just, you know,
when I was a kid, I used to think those ball mice were so cool, but they were not fun to use.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, they're pretty reliable compared to like a laser and optical mice, because you know if something's wrong, you can just replace a ball.
True. As we are getting into this game, we have a very interesting opener here as well. It was a Rax expand from a Cure into a 3 Rax opener, and it's going to be on ShoWTimE to try and figure out what's going on, but no, he has denied entry into the main. For the time being, he is in the dark.
Yeah, not at all aware of the 3 Rax opener coming his way. I'm getting flashbacks to 2021, I think it was, like, when Cure would do literally nothing but this opening in TvP.
Yeah, true. As the Marines, they walked over that depot just at the wrong moment. The Adept does shade in, and ShoWTimE sees everything. And typically a 3 Rax is designed to punish and shut down a Stargate opener, but it was a Twilight Council opener from ShoWTimE. Cure, by the way, did an SCV scout. He skipped his Reaper as well. He has no idea what ShoWTimE is up to.
Yeah, and this... I mean, everything is hinging on this one push to work out for him. I still think it can work out for Cure, but he's gonna have to be relying. He's kind of banking on you know, ShoWTimE miscontrolling a little bit or messing up the defense there.
Yeah, like the problem is that because ShoWTimE is aware of the build, he should be as active as possible with these Stalkers. We can see he's sending every Stalker across the map. He's supposed to ideally force a stim, or just pick off Marines, pick off Marauders, just pick off units as Cure moves out across the map. We can see Cure, he's incorporating Marauders here to help with that, to help deal with some of these Stalkers, but ShoWTimE is doing a great job at just chipping away at this army.
Yeah, there's no medevac, so any damage ShoWTimE can get done is damage that Cure's not going to be able to recover from.
Yeah, exactly. As Cure is attempting to move out on the map, ShoWTimE is, for the most part, keeping up here. We do see ShoWTimE rotating over towards the left-hand side. He's trying to catch the army, but alas, he misses it, and Cure is sneaking out on the left-hand side of the map. ShoWTimE is unaware so far, but he's trying to hunt him down.
Yeah, as Cure just kind of leads him on a little bit of a wild goose chase. Parks half of his army. Or no, actually his entire attacking force over there, as yeah, the rest of his production is meant to just defend a counterattack.
Yeah, and this is really good for Cure because... Oh, there we go. ShoWTimE recalls. I was about to say, Recall doesn't know what... Sorry, ShoWTimE doesn't know where the army is, so he recalls back home. Accurately, he's going to be in position here to defend against this push of Cure.
Just like so. We have a couple of sentries right now. Force fields cutting this army in half. I mean... It's not a very big army, but cutting it in half regardless is going to make it that much easier for ShoWTimE. Cure recognizes that this is not going to work out, so he transitions into something a bit more, I don't want to say standard, but something a bit more, you know, good.
Yeah, like ShoWTimE's in a really good position after that. Like this 3 Rax didn't really do anything, but thankfully for Cure, if you look at the units lost tab, he didn't lose too much. He lost 4 Marines. He kept his Marauders alive. He kept the majority of his Marines alive. Once these medevacs kick in, he can go for some drop play, and yeah, Cure, he can make something happen here with his army. Just bearing in mind that he needs to, though, because again, he is delaying his 3rd base by quite a lot to make this happen.
Yeah, it's one of those times where, or one of those scenarios where, sure, the opening didn't fulfill its objective, but it didn't really need to, and especially considering the fact that, like you said, he kept most of his units alive, it does mean that the follow-up is that much stronger.
It is. Behind this, Cure is getting his 3rd base on location. It's a little bit greedy, but he needs to be greedy right now. Observer spots the army. I believe it spotted the drop as well. ShoWTimE is making his way into his main base. Cure will get here first.
Yeah, and right now it is a very delicate maneuver here. Cure thought about sandwiching that Protoss army a little bit, but wasn't quite able to have full information there. He's going to try to take out the Forge. Delaying +1 is going to be absolutely massive, and meanwhile, ShoWTimE leaves his actual base way open. Robo facility goes down just before the Colossus pops out, and just like that, Cure's just about done it.
This is getting out of control. Cure just turning water into wine right now with that drop play, with just pulling apart ShoWTimE. He takes down the Robo, he takes down the Forge, he takes down the natural base, and he still isn't done. He wants even more Stalkers.
Yeah, might as well. You know, he has to retreat, so might as well just take out whatever he can. This is the I was gonna say the luckiest probe in the world.
The probe
Feels
it goes,
bad, man.
it does go down. Cure isn't done. He's rallying across the map, by the way. He's sending another drop into the main base where there is nothing at home to defend. ShoWTimE going to try and go for a bit of a counterattack, but he has to respect this drop as probes are going down.
Yeah, recall is now forced out of ShoWTimE. Two Widow Mines to get a couple of units, and the drop does get shut down. But this is a loss that Cure is more than willing to take. I mean, he kills 8 more probes. He forces ShoWTimE to completely give up on that counterattack. Cure is in full control of this game from here on out.
Exactly, and he wants to keep on going, by the way. He still has a pretty decent force here to be active with. ShoWTimE is going for double Colossus production to catch up, and without his Colossus, this army can still make some moves. He can still get a lot of damage done here as the Colossus is still not out. Cure could even maybe try and pounce on the production as he slips on in and is looking to head towards that natural once again. Oh.
Yeah, doesn't know that the robo facilities are in the third base, but again, he is so far ahead that any damage he gets right now is pretty much game ending. GG is called, and Cure this is going to be taking us to the ace match.
GG, well played. Again, that initial 3-racks opener wasn't really getting anything done, but as you mentioned, right, like, hey, at least he preserved the army here, and he was able to hit a bit of a later timing instead with his medevacs, and he completely pulled ShoWTimE apart.
Yeah, that is the Cure that I kind of know and love in a TvP. The Cure who just goes for multi-prong drops on top of multi-prong attacks on top of multi-prong. It's like a trident in a way.
The trident is
many prongs.
Let's go, Poppy. Let's go. And oh boy, now we're going to be getting into the ace match. We're going to be slipping into game number 3, which is going to be taking place on Gressvan.
Yeah. Large map.
Now, to be fair, that was still a stressful game for Cure, just because there was a lot of pressure on him to actually pull that off. If he was on it, if he dealt even a little bit less damage than he did, then ShoWTimE would have been in a much more recoverable position. But yeah, really nicely executed there by Cure, and this could still go either way. As a reminder, the winner of the series moves on to the semi-finals.
Indeed. I think there might be an opponent waiting there. Yes, there is an opponent waiting there already.
Yeah, and we may as well just say it, because MaxPax versus Maru did finish up, and MaxPax did eliminate Maru 2-1 and is waiting for the winner of this series.
Will we have that PvP, or will we have that TvT? TvT? No, TvP. This map is going to determine that, whereas we load immediately into Gressvan, or in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. We, of course, have our blue Protoss player coming down from the land of Deutschland. He is going to be representing Berlin International Gaming, BIG. He is big. He is ShoWTimE.
Do you still have your American bandana?
I do.
Oh, let's go. As spawning in the top left.
I was gonna put it on, and you know, want to show you a future one and all, but yeah.
Oh, smooch. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Gressvan, we have I was calling him the American, the South Korean Terran player representing Team Abydos, fighting back in the last game, tying up the series 1-1. Can he go all the way? Can he go the distance? It is Cure.
I rest my aviators on the bandana.
Oh, yeah. They're set.
Yeah.
One cannot exist without the other.
Hey, throw in the cowboy hat.
We need... What are you missing, really? Because I feel like the NA outfit has been evolving over time. And I feel like we need to add something every year, you know?
Yeah. Like,
You need a fake mustache. That's what you need. In general. But
A handlebar.
yes. You need...
I need to grow it out.
There's nothing to grow, Yaku. What are you talking about? You need some fake handlebar mustaches. That would be amazing.
And then sideburns.
Yeah. There you go.
And then a Big Mac. I don't know.
It's fine. A pet eagle, you know?
Yeah, just perched on the shoulder.
You need to message M Canning. You need to ask him, you know.
I do. I need to ask him for advice.
There you go.
How do I become more America?
As we do have a bunker here behind the middle line, the probe was trying to disrupt this, but no, the probe goes down. The bunker does finish. The Reaper does slip on in, and we're going to be denying a lot of mining time here at the natural. This is very old school. You don't see this too often in current meta. It's been a hot minute. It's been a while.
Now that you mention it, yeah, I'm so used to seeing bunkers behind the natural mineral line that it only took until right now for you to. It only took you mentioning it right now for me to realize that, yeah, not too many Terran players do that nowadays. I guess not too many Terran players feel the need to go for a bunker behind the mineral line nowadays.
Yeah, like that was very meta like a year and a half ago, and I just realized as well that like the 3-ax was kind of the same thing. So Cure, you know, just bringing back some of the old classics. To be fair, the 3-ax has been more prevalent over the past month or so. We've been seeing a lot of it from a lot of the Terran players out there, like Clem, like Maru, like Björn. But yeah, was able to do a little bit of damage.
I mean, it makes sense since he only has one hand, right?
True. What are you trying to say, Yaku? What are you trying to say?
You know.
Yeah.
Has to use what's reliable.
As the Reaper did confirm the opener as well, so this Oracle was scattered ahead of time. Cure is getting ready for it with his Marines, with his mines that are in position, and ShoWTimE isn't gonna try to fly too close to the sun. He just dips in, throws down that Revelation. He will dip on back as Phoenix production is commencing. Oh wait, no, that was cancelled. Never mind.
Wait. Oh. Interesting. Well, we should be seeing the Phoenixes anyway, right? I mean, that's a really good way of shutting down mine drops that ShoWTimE knows is coming his way, and in general is a really nice crowd control unit against Terran.
Yeah, but it looks like ShoWTimE wants to go for a ground toss army instead. As soon as the Hellion gets sniped, we do see that Twilight Council. We see a Robo as well, so we're going to be going into Charge, I imagine, or Blink. But Cure scouted that for the most part. He didn't see the tech itself, but he saw that the Stargate wasn't building anything.
Yeah, and that is enough of a tell here. ShoWTimE, or Cure, sorry, not going for Widow Mine drops, going for an 8 Marine drop.
Yeah, despite both of these Oracles, despite the Stasis Traps, despite the Revelation earlier, ShoWTimE was unable to actually see this coming ahead of time. He has no idea. He's able to get a little bit of damage done here, gets one SCV, gets another as well. But the drop is not slowing down, or the drop should be hitting the main base soon, and we will have one Phoenix.
There we go, at least one Phoenix. Most likely like 9.
And we'll see how far we commit as we do boost on past that Phoenix. We go straight into the main base, and what do we have at home to defend? We have a couple of units here at the natural base, racing back up into the main.
We have a Phoenix, and that's about it for now. Cure trying to go for that pylon, but in the end will be forced away. Second Phoenix is going to pop out very soon, and that's just about going to shut down any future drops here from Cure.
Exactly, we will have that anti-air to shut this down. Meanwhile, we also have Charge on the way, not Blink, so the Phoenixes are going to be heavily relying on these Phoenixes to clean up these drops as the Marines try to get whatever damage they can, and it looks like, they get an Oracle.
Not too bad, not too bad. It's a lot of utility that ShoWTimE's not going to have for the rest of this game, unless he remakes the Oracle, but why would he? You know?
Exactly, he almost gets the second
Oracle. You
Oracle.
can never replace the Oracle.
It's true, and he almost got the second Oracle as well. Meanwhile, Stasis Traps are being cleaned up. Cure once again relying on these drops, and this is a really risky move just because he knows that the Phoenix count is slowly getting higher and higher, so it's that much more kind of risky to go for these moves, but that's not stopping Cure.
Yeah, he's hoping that best case scenario, he's able to just boost through the Phoenixes distract ShoWTimE enough to come in with another prong. He doesn't have multiple prongs just yet, but yeah, that's what he's hoping to do.
Yeah,
continues.
He thinks about boosting forward, but no, he does boost back instead. He's respecting the Phoenix count here of ShoWTimE. He is going to be backing off. The army as well does react here to the movement of Cure as he's looking to reinforce, and he's looking to maybe even try to push towards that third.
Yeah, it looks like Cure was kind of hoping that ShoWTimE's ground army would try to go up that ramp and meet him, but ShoWTimE, with his high ground vision, knows that he probably shouldn't do that. He is backing away, going to a much more defensible position.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Goes for a scan as well. Cure just getting an eye on what was waiting for him up that ramp, and he wants none of that. There's no splash damage, but there's a shield battery, overcharge, immortals, and force fields, so Cure is going to be respecting that. He is going to back off.
Hey, there's splash damage, you know? There's Cure's Widow Mines, friendly fire.
Love in the chat. Cure represents Texas, I'm pretty sure. True. he can be the American today, just for the 4th of July. You know, we need one.
Yeah. Yeah, but you can't, man.
It's okay, Yako. Don't worry about it. You don't need to try. Oh god. As Cure is looking for an opening, Revelation will blanket the army though, but we're going to be leading the charge anyway with that anti-armor missile.
Yeah, nice split away there from ShoWTimE, but there was plenty of energy in that Raven, and a second anti-armor will coat just about the rest of that army. There's only two disruptors, and neither of them have purification over right now. Widow Mines will connect with a couple of Phoenixes, but not that many of them. Cure, of course, still has plenty of bio to keep this going, but these disruptors are going to be a massive barrier to Cure just stimming forward and winning the game.
Yeah, those mine shots were pretty insane, not gonna lie, but as you mentioned, the disruptors are gonna be keeping ShoWTimE alive. They force Cure to back off. Behind this, he's taking his third base as we speak. On top of that, with the arrival of these Colossi, ShoWTimE should be able to deflect any kind of main push. If Cure were to find some damage, he's going to have to rely a lot more on drop play instead. And he's having a hard time doing so just because of these Oracles, just because of these Phoenixes.
Yeah, but he has been doing a pretty good job of containing ShoWTimE on only 3 bases for quite a while. ShoWTimE only now grabbing that 4th base, which normally, ideally anyway, as the Protoss player, you want to have finished by now.
Oh, exactly. And speaking of, there's another force here going to be threatening that 4th. We actually cancel it prematurely as well. ShoWTimE, not really liking his chances, recognizes that he's just being spread a little bit too thin right now, as he does respect that army. At the same time, goes for a Zealot Ramba here at the 3rd base of Cure.
Just doped immediately away from that, yeah. So I will be getting a couple of SCVs, but not that many. 5 SCVs go down, which isn't really the biggest of deals.
Yeah, exactly, as the economy is still pretty comparable between the two players, which is a better thing for the Terran, by the way. Alongside those mules, we do see Cure actually taking an economic advantage, which is something you don't see too often. You mentioned it yourself that ShoWTimE, his 4th base is late, and actually there just is no fourth period.
Yeah. 0 whatsoever.
Boy. But what ShoWTimE lacks in a 4th base, he makes up for in his splash damage, as he is working up towards 4. He's about to have 5 Colossi. Oh my god, that's pretty insane. That's more than is typically expected here in the TvP.
Yeah, what's the magic number for Colossus in PvT? 3 Colossus, yeah. And then just a whole bunch of either Disruptors or High Templar plus other gateway units. Purification Nova does dip out. I think it got 1 ghost, something like that.
Mainly Marauders were taken out, but regardless, a valuable hit there for ShoWTimE. And I believe he's working up on this high Colossus count just because he expects that he's going to have to defend on multiple fronts. So splitting off like 3 Colossus and then 2 Colossus would be ideal here for ShoWTimE to be able to stop this multi-pronged aggression here of Cure. I do think that his army split is a little bit lopsided. I don't think it's the most ideal, so we'll see if Cure is able to take advantage of that.
We shall indeed. As for right now, yeah, the ball is very much in Cure's court. He's getting his own 4th base as ShoWTimE just starts to saturate his own. And he's max. Both players are pretty close to max, actually.
Yeah, here we go. We have it now maxed out. We're working on ship attack as well, just for the Vikings, also for the Liberators. I'm sure the transition is going to be coming soon. That's 2 DTs on the way. Sorry, 2 Dark Shrines on the way for ShoWTimE as the army does move on forward. Overcharge is going to be able to hold the line. Oh, God, no! As the Nova goes off.
Very nice split there. Yeah, very nice split there for Cure. Only 1 ghost going down to the Purification Nova. Another ghost will get sniped there, as well as a couple of Marines.
And that's
already a pretty decent trade here.
Yeah, ShoWTimE getting a lot of value out of his Purification Novas, and that is stopping Cure in his tracks. He's trying to go for another push here towards the south, but again, we have plenty of disruptors waiting for him. ShoWTimE has been able to hold onto his fringe bases, and Cure has to be careful not to throw away too much, especially these ghosts.
Yeah, doesn't want to waste his EMP energy, doesn't want to have his ghost get taken out prematurely.
Exactly. ShoWTimE is working on his 5th base as we speak. We were talking about how defensive ShoWTimE can be against Zerg and how his playstyle revolves around that. This looks like the same thing, but for PvT, where he's just, yeah, so like slowly taking a 4th, slowly taking a 5th, much later bases, but a much stronger army as a result.
Yeah, who needs Blink?
True.
Oh, in a PvT, I mean.
Yeah, as Blink is on the way before the DTs, instead we do have a massive Doom Drop into the natural base. Dark Shrine is going to get sniped, but the army isn't too far away, and we're going to be able to force this back.
I was going to say, this is why you always make a backup, but yeah, it looks like ShoWTimE did cancel the extra Dark Shrine a little while ago.
Oh, exactly. Dark Shrine is not going to come into play. We do have another drop into the main base. He's going to be very committed. The Phoenixes have arrived, so there's no way out here for these medevacs.
Yeah, it's fight and until you die here for these units. Actually, Cure now trying to dip out. I like this little juke and jive, just trying to trick ShoWTimE a little bit, but unfortunately for Cure, ShoWTimE was paying attention. Fortunately for Cure, he was not.
Yeah, exactly. Cure just wasn't looking, and ShoWTimE shuts down the second push. Cure was maybe hoping that the Doom Drop had maybe given him an opportunity, maybe given him an opening, but no, ShoWTimE was paying attention, and yeah, he's able to deal with the army quite well for himself, and now it's ShoWTimE's turn to move out.
Yeah, all of a sudden, ShoWTimE just bought himself a ton of breathing room.
Exactly, and now we are up to still this 5 Colossi. We have 7 disruptors on the ground. ShoWTimE is going to be pushing up this ramp in towards the 3rd base. Cure out of position.
I'm surprised we don't see any Liberators yet from Cure.
And no Liberators. We have a handful, I say a handful, a decent amount of Vikings. Nova's going to be going up, zoning away the forces here of Cure. The Vikings, they got a lot of work to do.
They really do. The bio is trying to distract these Stalkers as best they can, but they will still eat a couple of Purification Novas to the face. Cure has been trading about as efficiently as he could in this position, but that's still a lot of splash damage. It's still a lot of disruptors.
Oh, exactly. And even though we're getting every single one of those Colossi and the Phoenixes, as you were saying, oh, can we get the disruptors? 1, 2, 3 disruptors go down. Not a bad snipe there from Cure as he chases down the army of ShoWTimE.
Oh. Yeah, and all, if not most of the Colossus did get taken out. Not the best Purification Nova trade in the world. Maybe still enough to keep ShoWTimE at bay, though. Or to keep Cure at bay.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like Cure just took one too many Novas to the face. He has to back off. He has to respect this position. ShoWTimE is getting his 5th base and now a 6th base up and running. The pressure is on Cure to do some counter damage, and it looks like he's been able to outposition ShoWTimE. He's going to be able to get this 3rd.
Yeah. At the very least, I really think he can continue to push forward and maybe get another base behind all of this. The army supply looks fairly comparable, but I still do think that ShoWTimE has Cure has a much more impressive army. Here, ShoWTimE, he's got a lot of splash damage, but it's reliant a lot on these Purification Novas landing one after another.
Yeah, and
all Cure has to do is react to them.
Yeah, that's, I mean, it can be difficult, to be fair, but he just sniped 2 bases. He took down the 3rd and the 4th base. Thankfully, ShoWTimE has more Nexuses that are about to be up and running, but Cure is pushing back in once again. ShoWTimE is going to try to react here. No, looks like he's going for a base trade instead. He's had enough trying to chase down the army of Cure.
How how this game ends in very much similar fashion to game number 1. That's just some synchronicity coming down. And yet another base trade coming up here.
Yeah, but I would say that Cure's in a better position this time. The Dark Shrine did finish, I don't know if you saw, but a couple of DTs were warped in, but no, they have been dealt with. Meanwhile, the boys have been pulled. ShoWTimE recognizes that he's going to be losing everything across the map. Oh, Shadow Stride!
Does get cancelled, and more importantly, arguably, the Dark Shrine does go down. No more DTs are going to be up and running here for ShoWTimE. And that was really his secret weapon when it came to winning this base trade.
Really was. There's one DT waiting in the main base here for ShoWTimE, and if there is no scan, available, then it could do a lot of damage, but we have EMPs as well, and I think the DT did just go down.
Yeah, I think he got EMP'd or something.
Yeah, but you know what? The base trade is still fully underway. ShoWTimE, he throws down a pylon here. Oh no! The probes!
You're so vulnerable, but not quite.
Ooh. Yes, we get a pretty good force field as well. We do pick off a Ghost and a Marauder. Very nice pickups here by ShoWTimE. Meanwhile, the main base is going to be going down. ShoWTimE doesn't have enough money for a Nexus. He has only less than 200 minerals left.
Yeah, not only that, he has not rebuilt his base, and it's being revealed.
Yeah, and here we go. The Novas are going up the ramp as well. The Vikings are going down. They're doing what they can. It looks like ShoWTimE is going to be able to bust up this ramp, but he's losing so much.
Yeah, that was just a funnel for Stalkers and Disruptors. There's no anti-air either. There are only a handful of Stalkers, so these Vikings could do a lot. ShoWTimE is able to take them out first.
Yeah, they do go down. It looks like, again, ShoWTimE is wreaking havoc here in the main base, but GG gets called, and Cure does it. He fights back, and he takes a series 2-1, eliminating ShoWTimE.
One-handed, with sandbags on his wrist, with ping and an eye patch on.
Crazy. GG, well played. Congratulations to Cure as he does take down ShoWTimE again with just this mass harassing style, this mass aggressive style. We saw that initially ShoWTimE was doing a great job at keeping up with it. We saw even some really good Novas going off as well. But once ShoWTimE counterattacked, that's when he lost a little bit too much across the map, if you recall. That's when momentum swung in favor of Cure. He never let it go.
He really, hadn't. Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. It's just trying to think of what my own inputs to that would be, but I think you pretty much did say it best. You know, game number 1, he definitely looked pretty shaky. He did go for a build that unfortunately got immediately scouted and countered by ShoWTimE there, but game number 2 and game number 3, like you said, he just did typical Cure things. He went fairly aggressive early on and was just able to find these little weaknesses in ShoWTimE's defense that gave him a lot of momentum early on and just rode that wave all the way.
All the way. GG, very well played here. Cure advances onto the semifinals, and now both semis are ready. And now the question becomes, which one are we casting first? Because both semis...
It's probably the one that started first.
It's very possible. It's very possible. If that's the case, we may have to hop over to Land of Korea instead. Just trying to double check and confirm, because we are going to be casting these one at a time, and we will have to jump in at some point.
Wait, did they already start?
Yeah.
I guess they were.
We'll head over to Korea.
Makes sense.
So we are heading over to the Land of the Koreas. It looks like Dark versus Bjorn has begun. They are in game 1 as we speak. Dark did take down Classic 2-0. Bjorn took down Gumiho 2-0 as well.
Oh,